Hi, my name is Patty Costello and I am a senior at Seaholm High School. And today I'll be talking about chemicals in cosmetics and why companies and corporations should put labels on the cosmetics saying what these ingredients are doing to our bodies. I will go over the FDA and its interactions with the companies and corporations, the chemicals themselves and what they're doing to our body, international policies and how they differ from policies within the United States. And lastly, I will talk about what I've been doing with the community and what you can do with the community to help fight this problem. So first off, what is the FDA? According to the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration is a government-funded program designed to help promote public safety within food and drugs. And within drugs is cosmetics. And what they are supposed to do is just make sure that everything that goes out on the market is safe for us consumers to have. One of the biggest things that people associate with the FDA is testing. They believe that the FDA tests the products before they go out on the market. This, for cosmetics, is not true. According to the FDA itself, it is up to the company's responsibility to make sure that the products that go out on the market are safe for consumers to use. The only testing that the FDA does do is when color additives are in products, so when your product is, a different color than it's, supposed to be, or, if they just add a color to it. Also, if they will do protocol, which is they'll go to a drugstore and pull random things off the shelf and test it just to make sure there are no illegal ingredients in it. Now, so what this means is it is entirely up to the company to make sure that the products that go out on the market are safe for consumers to use. What a lot of companies will do is they will test on animals to make sure that the products aren't harmful to us. And according to the United States Humane Society, many of these cosmetics are tested on rabbits and rats due to their quick reproduction rate, and they are biologically similar to us. So, what is harmful to them will probably see the same effect to us. So that's why they test these ingredients on these animals. What a lot of companies also realize, though, is testing on animals is bad publicity for their, product. So what they'll end up doing is they'll test on people, they'll find guinea pigs, and they'll use the guinea pigs, the people, and test it on them. Or what they'll end up doing is just not testing their product at all because it is not mandatory. And they will, wait to hear from the consumers if there is a problem, fingers crossed that they don't hear a problem, and then they, continue selling their product. And if there is a problem with the product, it is called an adulterated product, according to the FDA. And other categories that consist of an adulterated product are just anything that has been contaminated, like misprinted labels, just anything that is wrong with the cosmetic is an adulterated product. And the process to get rid of the adulterated product is solely up to the company's responsibility. The FDA cannot regulate recalls. They cannot force a company to get a product off the shelf unless it has illegal ingredients in it. So what this means is a product may be bad for you and it may do horrible things to you, but they don't have to recall it. They can just keep it on the market for as long as they want, if they really want to. Of course, a good company would realize that this is very bad and they will lose a lot of clients, so they'll end up pulling it off the market typically. But there are a lot of things that people associate with the FDA that just are very, very fabricated. For example, the FDA makes sure that the words organic and hypoallergenic don't have a specific meaning. So what this means is companies and corporations can use the words organic or hypoallergenic on their products that really aren't organic or hypoallergenic, which allows companies to lie and just kind of make their product seem, more natural or better for your skin than other products, which the FDA did a response on this on their website saying that there is no strict definition and therefore we cannot enforce those words or, make a company not use them. So when something bad happens to your skin, it usually falls under 3 classifications, which is what we're going to be talking about next, is the chemicals. And the first classification is known as a carcinogen. And according to Webster Dictionary, a carcinogen is defined as anything that causes cancer. And anything that causes cancer, it's just it's in your products, and one of the most common ones is called parabens, and parabens have actually, it have an increased, people are aware of parabens. It's becoming more popular to put on labels of cosmetics to say paraben free because of the amount of studies that have been done that link parabens with cancer. But unfortunately, a lot of products still use parabens. So what is a paraben? A paraben is a preservative, which basically means that it is used to make sure that the product doesn't spoil. It has a longer shelf time in the store and has longer shelf time in your bathroom. That's what a paraben is. So, where can we find these products? You can find them in your makeup, you can find them in your moisturizer, you can find them in basically anything that you'd put on yourself just because it's a preservative. And so it's just so versatile. So some products that contain parabens are CoverGirl Mascara, Pantene Pro V shampoo, and Clean and Clear face wash, foaming face wash. And what is scary about it is these are all, they all serve different purposes. So it shows you how versatile parabens are. There was a study done by the Breast Cancer Foundation of America that took these women who had tumors in their breasts and they took a biopsy, and inside the tumor they found parabens in it, which is very scary because it has a direct correlation with breast cancer. So that is very, very scary. Next, moving on to the second classification, is known as an endocrine disruptor. And according to the Mayo Clinic, an endocrine disruptor is basically anything that disrupts your endocrine system. What this means is your endocrine system is known for balancing hormones, making sure your reproductive system is working, and just basically that. So a lot of symptoms that happen with an endocrine disruptor are infertility, changes in hormones, and birth defects. So those are very, very serious and very, very, it's just not one thing. It's, multiple things. Unlike carcinogens, which is just cancer, this can be multiple symptoms, which is very scary. One of the more known endocrine disruptors is known as triclosan, and triclosan is kind of fights off the bacteria in products, so it makes sure that the products, are clean and they don't get spoiled and nothing else gets in them. Well, this can cause problems to your health because it has shown by the Mayo Clinic to increase your chance of infertility in both males and females. It has been shown to actually kind of prevent bacterial resistance, so you are more resistant to these bacteria. So it's really bad for your immune system because the bacteria can't fight it off. So you can't fight off the bacteria. And some products that contain triclosan include Colgate toothpaste, Old Spice classic deodorant, and Dial body wash. It is found in mainly it's not found in many makeups, but it is more found in personal hygiene things. So it is very dangerous because, it's just everywhere and you use it every day and sometimes even twice a day if you use some of these products. So it's a very, very scary drug. And lastly, looking at skin irritants. And skin irritants is the broadest and probably most difficult classification to test because your skin comes in contact with so many things every day that it's really, really hard to to test that, oh, this is the thing that is irritating my skin. So it's very hard to test it. And according to the Mayo Clinic, a skin irritant is anything that causes stress or damage to your skin. So it's very hard to test because your skin comes in contact with so many things every day. And one of the more notorious skin irritants is propylene glycol. And propylene glycol is an organic substance that is a skin conditioning agent. So many products use it for the organic, saying, oh, this is organic, so it has to be good for you, which in reality is not true at all. Propylene glycol actually can cause redness, rash, and sometimes even eczema. It is, again, another reason it is very hard to test, skin irritants is because everyone's skin reacts differently to everything. So someone's skin may get red from something, someone's may not. It's just that we're all different. So again, propylene glycol is a skin conditioning agent, but in actuality, what it does is it strips layers from your skin. It makes it more raw. So it destroys your skin cells, and it just makes your skin it ages faster. And so a lot of products that use propylene glycol are Maybelline Anti-Aging Cream, Almate Liquid Eyeliner, and Neutrogena Sunscreen. So the majority of propylene glycol is found in moisturizers and sunscreens and anti-aging creams because it's used for skin conditioning. So skin conditioning moisturizers are pretty synonymous with each other. The thing about all three of these classifications, it is very hard to test the long term. What that means is your symptoms from these products that you use every day might not come for years to come. It's so hard to test these products, especially carcinogens and endocrine disruptors, because they could show up years later. It's a constant low dose of these drugs can lead to results. It's not like you're getting a high dose and then you see it, the next week. I'm putting this moisturizer on my face for 6 years, and then a couple decades later, I get breast cancer or I'm infertile. That's what happens. And so, but it's very hard to prove that and say that this is the sole cause of why it's happening. So that's why the FDA doesn't ban these ingredients, because they ban them in high dosages. Like, you can't have a certain amount of it. But isn't having a low dosage every day equally as bad as just having a high dose? It's just something to think about. And then next, we'll be moving to international policies and how they are similar and how they're different to policies within the United States. And so, starting with the European Union, and they have very strict guidelines when it comes to cosmetics. They have extreme labels, and what that means is they have to make sure everything's on their label. They have to make sure it has to say this may cause skin irritation, this has shown to cause infertility, this has been linked with cancer. It has to have those labels on it. Another strict guideline that they have is they actually can't have they have a very, very wide span of illegal ingredients in their products. So most of the most ingredients that cause birth defects are banned in the European Union, but they're still trying to get more banned. So it's a process. Same thing goes with carcinogens. Many ingredients that have been linked with cancer, like parabens, for example, are banned in the European Union, and they're still working on many others. So it's hard to test, but they do a lot of testing over there to make sure that there's a lot of consumer safety and product safety, so that we know what we're getting ourselves into, because a lot of people kind of in the United States have a nonverbal consent. You know, we buy this product, we use it, and then we buy it again because we like it, we think it smells good or something. So what we do is we kind of say, oh, I don't need to know about the ingredients. I trust the company, or I trust the FDA to do the right thing, which might not always be the best, but at least in Europe, they can have a little bit of trust because they know that at least they're trying to prevent, birth defects and carcinogens from getting into their products. Australia is pretty similar to the European Union. It's a bit looser with its regulations, so it looks a little bit more like the United States, or just a policy that the United States should really consider, and something that I really firmly believe we should do. They have a little bit wider of a ban on ingredients. Parabens are banned, just in case you were curious. But what they don't have, ban all birth defects or all carcinogens. What they do is they allow people to sell, these companies to sell these cosmetics that contain these ingredients, but they must put on their label, has shown to cause birth defects, has shown to cause infertility. So they're letting the consumer be aware of what they're buying, but still giving them the option to buy it, which I think is a process that the United States needs to start doing. I think having the option to choose is the biggest thing in the United States, and I believe us as the consumers should have the option to choose a product that we know of, that if we want it or if we don't, we should know the risks of each instead of having the government hide it from us or the companies hide it from us. I think a system like Australia is very, very smart. And so that's some of the similarities and differences between the two. So, and lastly, I will be talking about my outreach project that I've been doing. And so what I've been doing is I teamed up with the dermatologist from Beverly Hills Skin Institution, Dr. Misra Higgins, and what we've been doing is we've been working on handing out a pamphlet to all Oakland County clinics and kind of making sure that there's a public safety when they're choosing cosmetics. So we've come up with this pamphlet with all this information and what to buy, what not to buy, just kind of things that are good for your skin or what's not good for your skin. So that's what we've been doing. And something you can do to help advocate for this problem is just be an informed buyer, know what you're buying, know what you're not buying, promote companies that are good for you and that have good things in them instead of these awful things that are so harmful to you. So to wrap it up, we talked about the relationship between the FDA and the companies and how loose of a relationship that is, and how it should be tightened, and how we should, learn to learn to be informed as well as we can before we buy a product. We also talked about, the actual chemicals and what they're doing to our body. And what we can do is, we can fight to have these chemicals out of our products. We are the people. We can fight to have these chemicals banned or anything. And lastly, just how we can learn from other countries. Countries like Australia, I think, is a perfect example of what we should be doing. We should be putting our label saying, oh, you can still buy this, but just so you know, it can cause cancer, which I think is perfect for us as a country, still having the option to buy something. it's the world of capitalism options. So I think something like Australia's would be perfect for us. And in case, and if you're really interested in it and you really want to know more about what you're putting on your skin, you can visit the website www.ewg/skindeep.com, and you can type in a product that you use and it will show up, and it'll show you all the harmful chemicals. It'll go through it with you. It's very easy to learn. So thank you for your time. Bye.